Welcome to the Professor Lending Institute, where we make sense of housing economics and the home buying process. I'm Jordan Steffaniak, president of Professor Lending, licensed loan originator, and your mortgage professor. And in today's episode, we're going to be covering the topic of whether home ownership even makes sense anymore, or whether we should all just be doomers about the status of things. You know, it doesn't matter how many times I get on Twitter or X or whatever you call it, or any other platform, and I see people whining and complaining and saying, well, Homer Simpson used to be able to buy a house of this much, and he was considered dirt poor. And look at that house. It's now valued at $700,000. No kidding. Like literally, I just saw this. I'm going to go, who I'm here. I wasn't even going to talk about this particular tweet or whatever, but now I'm going to have to look it up. Homer Simpson. Yeah, okay, here we go. So I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see everything that I'm seeing. Entire screen, window. All right, so here, just take a look at this. You know, The Simpsons debuted in 1987, and this type of house that shows the creator thought a single-family home could afford, or a single-income family could afford. He made $25,000 a year, $60K in $2026, and that cost $100,000. Now it's going to be, what does he say? Oh, I guess he doesn't. Oh, here, it's because this Sean Davis guy, he's talking about this current house is valued at 700,000. Now, my thing, we're comically poor apparently now, and I'm looking at this thinking, what community is this house in that it's going for 700K? Because I don't know of any neighborhood where that's going for 700K, unless you are in some area where the housing demand is just incredible and there is no inventory because there's a shortage of the supply. So before we jump into all this, I'm just showing you guys there are doomers everywhere you look in the housing industry. People, you go everywhere you turn over the rock. I mean, this has got how many views? Almost 1 million views on this one, I guess, where he's making fun of it. That has 500,000 views. We have this affordability crisis. You got people on the other side saying, you know, the housing market's going to crash. They're not going to be worth anything. And a lot of people going on Facebook or getting on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, they're being fed these reels over and over and over again saying the housing market is going to crash. People in your generation can't buy a house. No one can buy a house. Oh, poor me. You know, the economy's against me. The world's against me. Everybody's against me. I can't buy a house. And I don't want to be too critical, but all that stuff is hogwash. All these doomers are just making money off of you because you don't know any better and you're clicking on it and you're thinking, man, that really does stink. And I don't know how to buy a house. I don't know what it looks like to buy a house. And therefore, I'm in this bad position. So let me show you this other one that I wanted to show on just all the doomers that are out there. And is it actually true that we're in a doomer spot? So I saw this on Reddit. I don't get on Reddit. I just get emails because I'm part of these different first-time home buyer groups because I'm interested in what people are saying and thinking. And here we've got this guy saying, 1 year in, this is stupid. He's got his year to date. He's paid $2,000 in principal. He's paid, $12,000 in interest. He's got insurance for $2,000, and he's saying he's got a $7,000 property tax bill. Okay. So he thinks it's a dumb decision to buy a house because of this. And I just want to walk through this one particular scenario, and then we're going to talk more generally about the so-called crisis of home ownership. So number one is this a great deal? Well, that's how all mortgages work. That's how amortization schedules work. So this is not new. This is something that's been going on for decades. And is it a bad investment? Well, let's think, what's the alternative? You rent and you then pay $0 in principal versus paying $2,200 in principal up in the year one. At least in that year one, you are making an investment, making a debt on something so that you'll get a return when you sell the house. So if you do that for 7 years, you've paid down $20,000 in principal. Because I'm assuming, looking at this, I'm just assuming, let's say that the rate's like 6 something, and based upon these numbers, I'm estimating, house is probably around $200,000 and loans like 190 something. My assumptions. So if you're renting, you're not paying any principal. All the money that you're paying, 100% of it is essentially interest in that scenario. So, because it's all landlord based, right? So, if you want to rent, the alternative is to rent and to put 14,000 or toward interest towards somebody else's mortgage to pay down the balance. But the real thing that you're not paying attention to is the appreciation that you're capturing year over year over year with that house. That's how people all across America are able to start businesses, change jobs, pay for kids' college, do all these things, is because their home, not only did they pay down a mortgage balance over time, let's say after 7 years they paid down 20 grand in this scenario, but after 7 years their home appreciated in value. And let's just say it's conservative. I just ran some basic numbers. Let's say the home was at 200,000 to buy. In year 7, if you do 3% year over year, which is a very normal growth rate, that's very conservative. I mean, there's been years it's been much more than that. Some years is much less than that. Not much less. You're talking 1 or 2%. So 3% conservative number. You're talking now that house is 246,000. So you just gained $46,000 in appreciation, and then the principal you've paid down 20,000. So now you've got $65,000 that you've been able to generate this wealth in this house for 7 years. And that's with starting out paying $2,200 a year in principal and feeling like you're paying everything to interest. 7 years later, you got $65,000. That's almost $10,000 a year that you're making. So do you see, this is not stupid. You have to actually understand how math works and how economics work. Now, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to show you the facts. And there's a lot of people out there who are parroting falsehoods, myths, and all sorts of other things to get you angry, to get you mad at the system, and to get you thinking you can't afford things, you shouldn't buy things. Don't listen to them. Those same people who are doomers telling you don't buy a house are the ones going out and buying all the houses and making you rent them and then profiting off of you. So don't listen to them. Listen to someone who actually has a vested interest in you and your future and your family. Buying a home is the best decision that you can make. So back to just the general, housing doomer situation overall. Remember, since 1940, when we started capturing this data, home prices have gone up every single year except for 1 year outside of the 2008 crisis. 2008 crisis is a once-in-a-lifetime global economic event that was due to credit risk factors that are no longer an issue. So you're not going to see that same thing happen in the housing industry ever again. Buying a home is an amazing investment. Always grows in value. And then when you're not renting, you're paying down that principal balance. Even if it's small to start, it grows that's how an amortization schedule starts. So like your interest, or I guess when you start here, your principal's low that you're paying, and you're paying a lot in interest. Your monthly payment stays the same every month, but over time, that's axis switches, and by the end of it, you're paying mostly principal and almost no interest. I know you wish you could either pay even throughout the whole thing or pay more principal up front. That's just not how it works. Sorry. The lender's got to actually make some money because they know you're not going to be in a loan for 30 years. They know you're going to be in it for 5 to 7 years, and they've got to factor in all the costs and the risks associated with generating that and giving you $300,000, $400,000. They don't know you. They're giving you $400,000. And what other time in history are they giving regular people with normal jobs $400,000? Never. That doesn't happen. We are in an amazing economic environment, an amazing country that allows for these sort of things. And the housing industry, despite all that it's been through over the last 4 to 5 years, is in a very healthy spot now, a much healthier spot. And the reason it's healthier is because over the last couple of years, while homes have appreciated, they have not appreciated at the pace that they were doing during COVID. Good. The reason they did that during COVID, just so you know, is because there was a large supply, or I guess a large amount of demand, not a huge amount. Everybody wasn't moving, but a lot of people wanted to move, but there was almost no houses in the market. There was almost no supply. So when you only have 2 or 3 houses and you got 10 people who want to buy them, prices are going to go up, right? If you had 10 houses and 10 people who wanted to buy them, same amount of demand, the prices can stay more reasonable. So that shortage, and we're still, if you go look at the data, I go find it, show it to you. If you want to go to Housing Wire, you're going to find all this stuff. We have amazing data there on all things housing. We're still at a low period as far as housing supply goes. So we're still struggling with supply. So homes appreciate, but the good news here, for the last couple of years, wage growth has outpaced the appreciation of the house. So what that means is now people are making more money. So while interest rates are not awesome when we think of the last 10 years, when you think larger term, long term, and you think over the last couple of decades, interest rates are actually pretty normal right now. But those things coupled, wage growth outpacing the inflation of the house, the appreciation of the house, is very good news for the buying power of new buyers. So that's a long-winded way of telling you that you shouldn't listen to housing doomers. You're going to find them all over the internet, everywhere. You're going to look on your phone and you're going to look at this and think, I could never buy a house. I could never afford a house. I could never have a down payment. Those things aren't true. There are down payment assistance programs. There are 0% down loan products. You can buy a house. You may think you can't. You may have been told you can't. You can buy a house and you can get in the game and start building equity and start paying down a principal balance and start building for your family and your future. The data is all over the place. Homeowners are like 40 times more wealthy than non-homeowners. That's not by coincidence. It's the way the entire economic system in America is designed, and it's great. Okay? Buy a house, live there, build a family, and do it as soon as you can. Don't wait for interest rates to get better. You can refinance later. Don't wait for that house price to go down. It's not going to. It's going to go up. You wait 2 years, that price, that was 200, now it's 210. Now it's 215, and you're letting that person who owned the house get the appreciation instead of you. So don't listen to the doomers out there. There's tons of them out there. They don't have the data. They don't actually know what they're talking about. They're just trying to evoke an emotion or a feeling. Don't listen to them. You should be buying a house. Now, when you want advice on buying and financing and thinking through all these things, you need to talk to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Talk to a licensed loan originator about the financial aspect. Talk to your CPA about the tax implications for you. Talk to a great real estate agent who knows the area, who knows the market, who knows the value of the homes, who knows what they're going to sell for, what people are going to buy for, how many offers they're going to be, what the future development of that area is going to look like, and how that's going to impact the value of the home. Talk to all these people and get educated, and then go buy a house. So don't listen to the doomers. The good news is buying a home, owning real estate, is an amazing investment, and people should continue to do it right now. All right. Does that make sense? All right. If you have questions, drop comments below. Would love to hear from you. I'm happy to answer them. And then if you've got other feedback, you're welcome to find me at my website, send me an email, shoot me a text, whatever. And I'd love to help you out.